So, oh, do your third idea. Sorry, do two in a row, Ben.
I do two in a row. Okay, my third one would be punk my kid. Because
I'm not really your dad.
no, I mean just like play really horrible pranks on children. Nobody ever, goes after kids. They always go after their boss or their wife or whoever. But I'm thinking like when I was a kid, somebody in my family, I don't know who, let me watch this movie called The Hand with Michael Caine from like 1980 or 81, where he gets his hand cut off and then the hand comes back and starts killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just freaking afraid of it. And my grandmother used to have these like plastic gloves that she kept in the house for cleaning and shit. And every time I saw them, I would freak out because I was only like 5 or 6 years old, thinking it's this dead hand coming back to kill everybody in the house. And you can get like remote control hands now that'll walk across the ground. You could scare the shit out of kids. And I think it would be hilarious.
Is your idea basically that it's unfair that when you get older, you're not allowed to bully little kids?
Not bully them. I'm saying like the parents are like complaining, like my kid's acting up. Okay, we're going to get the best animatronic specialist to build a demon in his closet that'll pop out the next time the noise level goes over like 3 decibels or whatever. So your kid screams, this demon comes through the wall and scares the shit out of him. It's all caught on camera. It's hilarious.
Would it be also like taking a step farther? Billy Cunningham is 7 years old. He thinks he has a nice, loving family. Turns out he's actually an orphan. We're going to tell him today.
Whatever you think will get a reaction but isn't going to scar him for life, I'd be all game.
Well, we actually, from the age 7 to 18, we're actually put him in the orphanage. Then tell him it was a joke at age 18.
You've been punked. Just kidding.
We got you. You fell for that. We were watching videos of you. We were like, oh my God, he's crying again. Oh, he misses us. He's in 11 years, and it'll be hilarious.
The show gets canceled after 10 years.
So my next idea, I think would be it's just like it's a challenge for 10 people, and I just think it would be such a hard idea and so funny. You take 10 people and you follow them in their daily lives with a video camera. They have to conduct their daily lives. The one thing they have to do, you pick either a vowel, which will be harder, or a consonant, and say they cannot use that letter in speaking. So you say you cannot use the letter E, and you have to conduct your daily life without using the letter E, any words with the letter E, and see how long you can go, and the last one remaining wins. I guess the vowel would be the best one, because just to hear people think of things to say without using that one vowel.
That would be like a 45-second show.
I wonder how, I mean, like, the prize is like $1 million. Like, you would just have to think so carefully before you made any word, say anything.
It just depends on the consequences. They did it over here. The Russians got rid of the Ukrainian letter G. I don't know if it was back in the 30s or the 40s. And they seriously enforced it. I don't know how many people got sent to Siberia, but
so it was less a game show, more a sadistic.
Yeah, it was like an ethnic cleansing. Are you pronouncing that letter G? I'm afraid we have a job for you in the Arctic Circle. You know?
Jesus.
We have a new reality show in Russia. It's called Ethnic Cleansing. How do you win? You're not that ethnicity.
So was it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is, I think they've already had similar shows. Basically, what would you do for money? But this one would be...
This is a porn site like that also.
It's like every porn site, pretty much. But this would be terrible and sadistic. Like, would you chop... It's like kind of like, let's make a deal. Like, would you chop off your pinky toe for $1,000? And basically, you try and keep going up till you see how much money it would take for them to do that. But then you'd really let them chop off their pinky toe.
And then it would be a prank show. Like, you'd be like, you're punked. This is not a real contest. And you don't even have an arm anymore. Man, you fell for it. Oh, and you're not really an orphan.
Yeah. So yeah, that's mine. It'd just be terrible, horrible things though. Eating barf and jumping from high places without a safety map below, and just
So maybe like I double dog dare you, but like without actually cutting off body parts.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Ben.
My next one, my number 2, is sugar daddies. This would be like The Bachelor, except the guy starts with a budget, and let's say it's a couple $100,000, and there's 50 women. He's got to meet all these women, figure out how much it costs to support them for like a month, and figure out, let them compete for him to decide which ones he's willing to be a sugar daddy for until his money runs out. And that's the first couple shows. And then once he picks his 5 or 10, he can probably get 3 in Louisiana for the price of 1 in New York, whatever he decides. Then the cameras follow him once he's chosen and see how they sabotage each other to try and get the other, ladies fired.
I'm sorry. I have an idea off your show. Your idea? Hang on. So instead of I like your idea, but you take 10 women, you rank them in order of looks, just purely looks, and you assign them a cash value in reverse order. And so if you pick the ugliest girl, you get $1 million. But you have to like marry her. If you pick the middle one, you get like 500,000, and and the hottest one you only get like 100,000 or like 50,000, and see where money and looks come together.
That's interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that idea. But your idea was good also. Your idea was probably better.
All right.
So my next one, I don't know how you would do this one because I basically I want to make 10 people homeless. And see how like you put they have people that have like a normal income, maybe like they're like they were average middle class people. They go on the show. They're basically blindfolded, randomly dropped in a random city, with nothing but the clothes in their back, and see how long they survive. The only thing is that like when people see the cameras, they'll like give them like breaks. You have to hide all the cameras. But see how 10 people survive being homeless.
That's awesome. I like that one a lot.
Cool.
That'd be a real Survivor game.
Well, my next one is actually Real Survivor, which is not on an island, but you put like a white guy in Compton. Or you just basically put a person not with anybody from their race or culture and see how they survive being the only one of that type.
Or put like 3 members from the Klan in Harlem and see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. And they have to wear their full garb the entire time.
We've all seen Die Hard 3, right?
Yeah.
You remember the scene where he has to go up to Harlem and he has to wear a billboard that says, "I hate N-words."
Mm-hmm.
I would say the real word, but I'm not on the guts.
Do you remember Super Dave Osborne?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He did a skit where it's like Super Dave's going to do the most challenging and dangerous stunt ever. And he gets all suited up, and then you see him start running, and he's going through like a bad neighborhood, crosses some train tracks, and then there's some African Americans there playing dice, and he goes up and steps on their dice and just screams, the N-word at them, and then starts running.
That was like Kentucky Fried Movie from like the 70s. Yeah, I remember that.
There's a great joke. Artie Lang, who used to be on the Howard Stern show, has this great joke about how like because people who are midgets or small people claim the word midget is the same as the N-word. And he's like, I'll tell you how you know it's not the same word. Go up to a black guy, call him the N-word, and go up to a midget and call him a midget and see what happens. He's like, worst case with a midget, you get like a bruised knee.
I don't get that whole little people thing. I would rather be called a midget than a little person.
Well, also, midget's like a technical term also. There's a difference between like a midget and a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is it a bad word?
It's not a bad word. America has become so crazy. There's like, what's your 7, 8 bad words, your 4-letter words, and now they have these words that are just offensive.
Yeah.
They don't call them bad words. These are inflammatory.